are we talking about? But
Well, let me start recording this so I can explain. All right, so Alex, what I was saying, since you came late, and everybody else who's popping in here,
sorry.
I have put on the website. So the website today is covering through Monday because tomorrow's supposed to be a service day and we're not supposed to have classes or give any work.
Yeah.
So I've just kind of like, well, here's for the whole weekend. I have given you 2 practice exams, Prose 2 practice exams. One of them, I want you to do like the Hawthorne Zenobia one, where you read it all, you formulate a good opening introduction, and then you give me an outline of what you would have written if you're actually writing as an essay. You don't have to write as an essay, but I want you to kind of process that. How would it go? And time yourself. Okay? 45 minutes start to finish. Time yourself. Then there's a second one that I do want you to do completely. Okay, this is like your practice run for your exam. So you set your timer, 45 minutes. You open up that prompt. You read the question, analyze it, think about it. What is it wanting me to do? Read the passage, and then read the passage a second time, looking for how you would answer that. Then answer that, okay? And watch that timer. This is like your real test, okay? So you're gonna watch that timer and you're gonna get it done and you're gonna get it sent to me within 45 minutes. So my hope here is that you've done it at least 2 times with timers, that when it comes on Wednesday, you're like, okay, I've done it. Now, Michaela, of course, wants some more, and I will post some more. So I will put them at the bottom of that, and I'll put a disclaimer, you do not have to do these other ones, but if you want further practice, which I strongly, strongly recommend, I'm not gonna force it, but if you really wanna do this, here's some more. And if you want to send them to me for my opinion once you've done them, I'll do that. Okay. So those are due anytime over the weekend that you get to it. You can do it today, you can do it Sunday, you can do it Saturday afternoon. I don't care. But I want to have them done by Monday. Okay. And so then on Monday, I'm sorry, what?
I do have a question about the test.
Go ahead.
Like, if I don't do well, how much of an impact will that make on my GPA?
0. None at all. I am not using that test as part of our grading in our class.
Okay.
I don't get the results until sometime in June anyway. So 0, has 0 impact. The taking the test is only if you want to attempt to get that college credit. That's the only thing. And if you don't do well on it, colleges don't know, don't care. You know, it has.
You don't care, but I'll be sobbing in the corner of my room.
It's all about pride for you. Okay, it's all about your, oh, this is what I'm able to do or not do. But beyond you, nobody gives a flying fig. Okay. So there's that. I hope that gives you a little bit of freedom. Okay, because it's not gonna. I've got probably half the students don't want to take the test. I don't care. Okay, so this is just wholly on you, what you decide and what you want to do, and there is no negative consequences, possibly some positive consequences. So to me, it's kind of like you're not going to lose anything, but you may gain something. So I would go through the experience just because I'm a little crazy like Michaela. I want those experiences. I think they will help me in the future. You know, when you go to college, you will have times when you go into a class and they will give you an exam and you have 15 minutes to do that exam. You know, well, this is it. You've had this experience. Boom, you can do it. You know, it's not. So, I mean, to me, it is banking experience for the future. Even if you don't pass this exam and nobody's going to care, nobody's going to know, that it's experience. And I'm all about collecting experiences. So
on the website, it says that, like, if we get under like a 3, which means that we don't like really have it, like you can go to them and look at the essay and like be like do something. I mean, somehow. Like, I don't know, it said something like that.
Like you beg for a higher grade. Is that what it is essentially?
It's like it says like if the teacher, like after like our results, if the teacher thinks
Oh.
that like you should have gotten more
Okay.
or something like that.
So I will get all of your results. In the past, it's always been July because it's taken them longer, but I think it's supposed to be June. And in the past, they haven't released the exams to teachers. This time they will, so that we can look and look at your exam. So I can read through them, and if I think that you should have gotten a higher grade, then I can petition them and say, hey, why did she get this or that? I mean, obviously Tifane's better than a negative 0. Why did you give her that? And I can petition them for that and give. I think I'm supposed to like give some of your other past essays and other things demonstrating that you are capable of the work or something. I don't know.
But like they say like they'll like try to make it like the same as if we were taking like the real exam, which means like not like harder but not easier. But like I think it's gonna be harder because like we're judged on one thing. So if we like mess it up, then there's nothing else.
Yeah,
Do they take that?
all your eggs are in one basket, and you're like, I have to run through a forest and not trip. That's how I'm feeling. It is like
I kind of like it though, in the sense that I didn't want, like, how the original test has that last question where you like go back and look at all whatever you have to like pull from your own reading experience, because I've already forgot everything we read in the beginning. So
we would have been doing reviews. That's why we would have been reviewing all of that. Yeah.
So I kind of like it as just like one thing, but
really,
also it's more stressful. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I personally like the multiple choice because I thought at least that way,
Yes.
there's the answer is there
Me
somewhere.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So bummed about there not being multiple choice questions.
Yeah.
They could have done the multiple choice question. Like they could have just put like one essay and the multiple choice.
Yeah. I think there should have still been some multiple choice, just to some balance there.
So it's not like all or nothing, but
Yeah.
Was I supposed to pay for the test? Yeah.
Are you an Upward Bound?
No, I don't think so. I don't really know.
Yes.
Oh wait, how do we pay for that? Like because we never gave money or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got a bill.
Yeah,
So,
my parents
no.
got a bill for
Yeah.
it.
I got nothing. So I'm
I didn't
wondering.
get anything.
I just sent a check to guidance.
I don't know then.
It was like $80, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I heard that if you're an Upward Bound, they paid for it. Otherwise, you received a bill. And I know Mr. Strand had gone through in January and done all that. Michaela, when did you get your bill?
What month is it? It's April. No, May.
May.
February, maybe January, February.
Alex,
I got mine later because I got mine. It must have been the beginning of March because we weren't sure if we were going back to school, and my mom wasn't sure if that test was still happening. But she still paid for it. But like,
I definitely got mine earlier than that because I remember by the time we like sent it in, it was like a few weeks later that school got like canceled, and my dad was like, well, they better give us back the money if they don't have that test.
So I've never been involved with this and in the past. It's just always been kind of like guidance and all of them figure this out. I know tests have been ordered. I don't know how they were paid for though. I'm kind of thinking if you sent checks to guidance, I'm kind of thinking the school paid for it and then you're reimbursing the school.
Probably.
That's what I'm thinking has happened. I'm not sure. Olivia, you could send an email to Mr. Strand
Okay.
and ask him. Because on my records, it says that you have requested, we've ordered a test for you. That's why I sent, the APID and stuff.
So
Yeah,
so
I haven't gotten a bill either.
I don't know. Send an email to Mr. Strand and ask him. I don't know. And they don't tell me these things. I'm just kind of like, okay, it's happening, whatever. So Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know.
So if we have like the APID, that means we pass, like no matter like if we like paid already or we will pay later, that means we still, like if we have our APID, that means that we're passing the test, right?
That you're being sent to, yeah.
Mhm.
And that will be on Monday. So you're
Mhm.
going to get that that invitation on Monday. And if you don't, that's when we need to go, all right, we've got a day to figure this out. Okay.
Wait, is the test on the what day is the
It's
test?
on Wednesday.
Wednesday? Oh, okay.
So
I
they
thought it was
send
on
you
Tuesday.
the invitation 2 days in advance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'll have like a little rolling countdown or something that goes with it too. If you watch that video thing they sent you. But yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming maybe the school's covered it and then you're paying back the school because if you're sending the check to guidance, that suggests to me that it's going back to them because I know years past, I knew somebody else was doing it. They would send the check directly to College Board. So I
I
don't know.
feel like that's where mine went because I don't like I didn't take it back to guidance or anything.
Okay.
I don't remember.
That's
I don't
I don't know,
know.
guys. Maybe the
And
school paid already, and like when we go back to school, I mean, for like the ones that are not seniors, when we go back to school, we pay or something.
maybe. I know like dorm students, you've got like an extra amount that just kind of sits there as a little
Yeah.
slush fund and they may pull it from that before they
Yeah.
give you your refund. I don't know. Gosh, I mean, every day it's a new thing. Just when I think, okay, I've got a handle on stuff, boom, no, you don't. No. So I don't know.
What happens if it like crashes though? Because every kid in like the country and like other countries are on it all at once.
True.
I don't know. I have
Can we
no
all
idea.
have a 5, like a 5/5 on the test if it crashes?
Yeah, if your computer
Yes.
crashes, you automatically get a 5.
Yeah, nobody tried to send a virus through it, crash the system, because we don't know this was going to happen. But
Ugh.
this is all new territory. Aren't you guys privileged to be living in this time and to be
That's definitely-
breaking all this ground and you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We will meet again on Monday and we can go over more details and more questions if we still like, okay, now what's happening? So, but yeah, I don't know. I just flying by the seat of my pants here. I don't know. Yeah, and then I found out that we're losing all of our seniors next week on Friday. So
Woot.
like I had plans for the week after and so all of that's out the window. I'm like, why do I even try to plan anything? It's just stupid. I don't even know why I try. Anyway, yes, I know you guys want to be gone, but I'm like, all right. So let's do why we're actually here. I don't know why we're here. We're just here to chat, right? Okay. I'm gonna show you the next 6 poems, which I think a lot of you were. I mean, I've already had a lot of people turn in their assignment, but we're still gonna go through these other 5 poems, 5 poems. For those that are also watching the recording, if they need to get some insights from. So let's kind of go through these real quick. These are ones that you're also going to do in your assignment. Okay. This is William Wordsworth, who was hugely famous in the early 1800s. And this is his Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats o'er high vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle in the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. All right. Give me your impressions of this one. What do you think?
I like this one a lot because like I think the description and the setting is like, I don't know, it creates an image in my head and I really like it.
Yeah, and that image, how does it make you feel inside?
I don't know, peaceful, like, oh,
Peaceful, calm. You're like, oh, I see little daffodils doing this thing, and there's just like a big long row of them, and yeah, so it gives you this calmness, this sense of peace, and
mm-hmm.
that's what he says. Later on in life, when he's feeling vacant or pensive, he's feeling kind of empty or just kind of thoughtful, they pop into his head again. It's like, oh, the daffodils. He still remembers them. Okay. Yeah. So this was a part of a time in poetry where they're very much looking at nature and appreciating nature and trying to understand it more than they had before. So he was one of those big nature writer guys. Okay. Good. Let's look at the next one. This one's a much more modern poem. Nothing about us was meant to last. We were illegal firecrackers and $5 sunglasses purchased at tiny corner stores, impermanent, stuck like pieces of corn in our teeth. We were always going to fall apart. We were always going to break apart. I just wish that we had done it quietly, without waking the neighbors, without alerting the world, without shouting from rooftops, our expiration is here. Okay, what's this about?
A breakup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a breakup. What do you think about this? What are your impressions?
I don't love it, but I like how like there's really only like one, well, I guess two technically punctuation marks. There's that comma after the first stanza. So it's like this one thought and then the narrator just kind of rambles and it's all kind of in one breath, and you can kind of feel at the end like where it's repeating like without doing this, without doing that, without doing that. It's kind of like all in one breath. And I don't know, I like that aspect of it, like the technical how they wrote it, but I don't necessarily love the poem itself.
You don't have to love the poem itself. Yeah. But that is an interesting setup. Yeah, it does feel like and so the poem is short and it runs very quickly, kind of like the relationship seemed to have run very quickly. It was just cheap and it wasn't going to last and it wasn't going to work, and why are we so noisy about it's just embarrassing. It's one of those things that you go, I wish I could just kind of delete all of this off my Instagram so nobody remembers this. Just kind of, you just feel the regret everywhere. This is like, oh, I knew this wasn't going to work, but whatever. Okay, but yeah, that's an interesting technical detail there. Okay. This one, so when I did this last year, I sent a copy of it over to Malcolm and I sent it over because he had some AP Physics kids that were in my AP Lit class. And I sent it over to them saying, and I wrote it with love from Trish. And he was like, no. And so he went through and he made all these corrections on it and then he graded it as an F and sent it back to me. So every time I run across, I'm like, oh, Mr. Holmes, just kind of makes me laugh. So
He was the first person I thought of when I read this. I was like, oh my goodness, this poem was meant for him.
I know. It is, he did not. We had kind of a fun adversarial relationship. We would try to see how we could needle each other, and he was always after me on Shakespeare. So I was always trying to tell him how he's misquoting Shakespeare. And then I would send little things like this where we just kind of prodding each other. But anyway, this one did make me laugh. So my physics teacher, he tried to convince us, but his billiard ball fell faster than his ping pong ball and thumped to the floor first, in spite of Galileo. The rainbows from his prism skidded off screen before we could tell an infra from an ultra. His hand crank generator refused to spit sparks and settled for smoke. The dangling pith ignored the attractions of his amber wand, no matter how much static he rubbed and dubbed from the seat of his pants. And the house brick he lowered into the tub of water weighed eureka more than the overflow. He believed in a world of laws where problems had answers, where tangible objects and intangible forces acting thereon could be lettered, numbered, and crammed through our tough skulls for lifetimes of homework. But his only uncontestable demonstration came with our last class. He broke his chalk on a formula, stooped to catch it, knocked his forehead on the eraser gutter, staggered slewfoot, and stuck one foot forever into the wastebasket. Okay, tell me your impressions of this one. What stands out at you? Nobody has anything to say. I really like this. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I want to hear you. I talk too much.
Oh, no, I just said I was thinking, that's why I wasn't saying anything. But I'm not a big fan. I guess that's just because I don't really get it. I mean, I get it, but like, I don't know.
You're like, what's the point?
I guess maybe like I see how it's related to the teacher, and I like that part of it, but other than that, it just doesn't really. It's not very memorable for me, I guess.
Yeah. I think what stands out to me here is this line. He believed in a world of laws where problems had answers, where everything could be figured out.
Mhm.
And he believed that, here's a problem, here's a solution. But throughout the poem, it's showing that those solutions aren't coming the way he expects them to. So the balls are not dropping at the same rate. And he's not everything that he is supposed to work according to the rules isn't working. We're doing that, we're putting in X or we're getting out W. It's not happening. And he believes that everything should that work this way, but it's not. And what I like about this is that it feels like very much like our lives in many ways, that I'm doing everything right. Why am I getting this weird result? This doesn't make sense. Nothing really quite works out. And even if life is going pretty good, even though you put in all the correct data, you're still sometimes going to come up with a result that you go, what happened? I don't understand. So to me, that's what this poem is saying, is you try your best, you do your best, you follow the rules as best you can. There's these governing entities. You do everything you can, but the last line, 1 foot forever, stuck in the wastebasket.
Yeah.
You're trying so hard, and even then this is what happens. This is what life is. Life just does not go according to plan. Which, yeah, I think we all know that. I totally feel that. This one was interesting. This one was published a couple years ago. I forgot to put the date. This is your reminder that Father's Day is June 21st. Just by the way. Okay. I can't get out. I'll fit in one spot. All right. A man crosses the street in rain, stepping gently, looking 2 times north and south, because his son is asleep on his shoulder. No car must splash him. No car drive too near to his shadow. This man carries the world's most sensitive cargo, but he's not marked. Nowhere does his jacket say fragile, handle with care. His ear fills up with breathing. He hears the hum of a boy's dream deep inside him. We're not going to be able to live in this world if we're not willing to do what he's doing with one another. The road will only be wide. The rain will never stop falling. Okay, what are your impressions about this? Do you understand what the author is trying to say here?
Also love those last 2 lines.
So what do those last 2 lines say, Michaela? What does that mean?
So it's referring back to so he's crossing the road, right? So the road will only be wide. Your journey is always going to be long. It's never going to be short, and the rain will never stop falling, which means things are never going to be easy. It's never going to be bright, sunny days. So you're going to have to work for it. And he's carrying this boy across this wet, rainy street. And the author is saying, hey, look, if you aren't willing to put yourself in hardships for other people, then this world is not going to be a great place.
Yeah, this is what it's all about. It's all about taking care of each other. It's all about, this is my little fragile, child here. Nobody disturb him. Nobody get him wet. Trying to keep him asleep. Trying to take care of him. Yeah, and I love that, because at first I'm reading like, oh, this is a nice thing, and then it's just boom. We have to do this for each other all the time. I'm like, oh, I love that. Yeah, because the road's always going to be rainy and wide. It's always going to be difficult. So it's not just about fathers, it's about everybody taking care of each other. This is what we have to do. This is what we're required to do. Yeah. Okay, good. Other comments about this one? And I'm just zooming right through this. So heartless. Any other ones? Okay. This one, the last one, was published just in like February, I think. Really, really, really modern. Okay. Song of My Cell Phone. And this kind of harkens back to some of the, like I was talking with Wordsworth, their nature and things. A lot of the poets in his generation would create these kind of songs of things, and they would look at an object from different angles and different points of view. And then they would write a little song about it, and then they would come at it from another angle, write another song about it, and another angle. And so this is what this has done, is harken back to these natural poets and look and create different songs about them. Okay. So, I mean, we're close to out of time. If you have to leave, you can, but I'm going to read through all of this. Okay. I have seen the best minds of my generation clunking into buildings and strolling into traffic, wandering the streets looking for an angry fix, more likes, more followers, better looking faces on the dating apps. Called away. I am always called away. Whatever is not in my presence, more filled with hope and promise than what is in my presence. Guilty, I have lain with my beloved, unable to resist the beef and the bring, the breaking news, the time and temperature. So here's the next song. In which destructive element should I immerse? There are so many destructive elements. That one beneath my feet, which is plenty destructive. And then all the other destructive elements. Horrible, gory, brilliant, super empowering, alive in the realm of code. It's the third song. Who today memorizes a phone number, reads a map, or calculates a tip in their head? I have lost those skills because my smartphone has made me a moron. And now I depend on my brain extension device for just about everything. Fifth song. Friends, I burst into your day, calling, texting, how are you? How is your health? What did you eat for breakfast? I sing the life electronic. Those I love engirth me with their emails, and I engirth them with my emails. Next song. Yeah, I miss the corded phones of yesteryear, with their clear reception and multiple extensions. And where have all the payphones gone that stood on the street corners? Yours for a dime, then a quarter, then a lot more money. So great for making anonymous phone calls. Next song. I picture the orbiting angels miles above Earth, sending me signals, watching over me, maybe watching me too much. Oh, phone, what is thy soul but this eternal life in the cloud from which nothing vanishes? Not even my most embarrassing photos and confessions or misaddressed text messages, or overly emotional explosions that seem so pithy at the time. Oh, reader, should you find these lines on a cell phone, I celebrate our connection and sing our connection. If you are the cell phone, I hope that you will not be cross with me, or if you are, forgive me with all of your speed. Okay. What do you think of that one?
I liked it because like it represents like pretty much like I don't know, but I can find myself like not memorizing a phone number or things like that, and I don't know, it's just like kind of reflects my thoughts on cell phones.
Definitely a love-hate relationship.
Mm.
You need it. You absolutely need it. You can't get by without it. And then you go, dang, I hate that I can't get by without it. Like, because I used to read maps and stuff, and now everybody's like, Mom, I will go on to the computer and I will print out a map and I'll put it in the cart. And the kids are like, just pull it up on your phone, Mom, and let Siri tell you. No, I'm not going to let them tell me how to drive. And then I do, because I can't figure out the map anymore. You know, we're trying to figure out tip. I'm like, I'm not going to use the phone. I'm gonna map it out. And yeah, I mean, you can just see me, you know, trying to, you know, where's Sarah Strand when I need her? I can't do it, you know. But yeah, I like these different angles that it takes to looking at your phone. And we've got these orbiting angels, you know, these are the satellites that are, you know, watching us, taking care of us too much, perhaps. So I like this poem because it feels old, but it's applied to something new. And it just shows how life continues the same way with different gadgets and different ways of expressing, but it's all the same stuff still. Anyway. Okay. So if you have not finished your poem analysis of all these, finish those. Okay. A lot of you already have. Okay. And then you have the 2 practice exams. And even if you're not taking the test, I still want you to do those practice things, because it's great experience for just any kind of testing situation in school. Okay. So we will meet again on Monday. It's not required, it's only optional. If you're taking it at the test, and let's try to figure out last minute problems and things, we'll meet on Monday. We'll also meet again on Tuesday to discuss last minute strategies for test taking, whatever. Okay. The test is on Wednesday, and then Thursday we're going to try to do something fun, because we're just about out of time with our seniors and everything, and I'm trying to figure out something to do. I think I've got an idea, but I don't know. So if you got any ideas, you know, let me know, because my plans have all been shot to hay. So I will take new ideas. Okay. So that's kind of what's happening over the next week. Questions, comments? We're good? Okay, awesome.